Today, we're diving into Lexeo Therapeutics, a company that's not just trying to treat genetic heart disease, but to cure it. We're going to break down the science, look at the hard data, and frame the investment case to figure out if this is a real breakthrough opportunity or just another high-risk bet. So, what's the big idea behind Lexeo? Let's start by getting a handle on what they're building and, more importantly, the problems they're setting out to solve. Lexeo's strategy is actually pretty simple, but it's powerful. Instead of just managing symptoms, which is what most drugs do, they're using gene therapy to go in and fix the underlying genetic mistake. They're going after diseases where patients have basically no good options. And from an investment perspective, that means a potentially clear and maybe even fast path to market, if the science holds up. Okay, this slide really gives us the lay of the land. And as you can see, the focus is squarely on the heart. LX2006, that's the star of the show right now. Its success or failure is absolutely going to drive the stock in the near term. But take a look at the other programs. They're built on the same technology, so a win for the lead asset could really de-risk the entire platform. For any biotech investor, you know the timeline is everything. And the key date here is early 2026. Kicking off that final pivotal study for LX2006, that's the point of no return. It's a huge signal that both the company and the regulators are confident in the data they've seen so far. It's pretty much the last major hurdle before a potential blockbuster drug can hit the market. All right, let's zoom in on the main event, LX2006. This single program is the absolute core of the investment thesis, so we really need to understand it inside and out. So what problem is LX2006 trying to solve? Well, imagine a genetic disease that just relentlessly thickens the walls of your heart until it physically can't pump anymore. That's FA cardiomyopathy. And right now, patients have absolutely no options to stop this from happening. That's exactly why a potential one-time cure is such a massive game changer. To keep the science really simple, just think of Lexeo's AAV technology as a kind of biological FedEx. They use a harmless virus as the truck to deliver a correct working copy of the faulty gene directly into the patient's heart cells. It's designed to fix the problem right at the source. And here it is. This is the headline number that really got everyone's attention, a 23% reduction in heart wall thickness. Now, to be clear, this isn't just some number on a chart. This is evidence that the disease isn't just being stopped, it might actually be getting reversed. That's a truly remarkable result for a progressive genetic condition. And here's the crucial point for investors. That 23% figure isn't just a big number, it's more than double the 10% improvement that the FDA has already said would be good enough for a final approval study. This alignment with the FDA is huge. It dramatically de-risks the whole clinical and regulatory path forward. This slide really just shows how LX2006 is ticking all the right boxes. Does it fix the underlying protein problem? Check. Is it safe? Check. Is the FDA on board? Oh yeah, check. They even gave it breakthrough therapy designation. It's just a really compelling package of data that points towards a high probability of success. So based on this really compelling clinical data and that clear alignment with the FDA, we're assessing the probability of success for LX2006 as high. Now let's take a look at the second major program, LX2020. This is important because it shows the depth of Lexeo's pipeline and helps validate their whole technology platform. Just like their lead program, LX2020 targets another really severe genetic heart condition, this one characterized by life-threatening arrhythmias. And again, this is an area with a very, very high unmet medical need. The early data for LX2020 is, frankly, just as impressive. 162% increase in the missing protein. That is a huge biological signal. It tells us the delivery truck is getting to the right address and it's unloading its cargo effectively. That is the first and most crucial step to proving that this therapy actually works. So the key takeaway here is pretty clear. LX2020 is showing a really positive biological effect, and that reinforces the potential of Lexeo's whole AAV platform. The science, so far, appears to be consistent and repeatable. Now, while this data is definitely encouraging, it is at an earlier stage than LX2016. So for that reason, we're placing its probability of success in the medium category for now, at least until we see more mature data. Of course, no investment comes without risk. And for gene therapy, believe it or not, the biggest challenges are often outside of the clinic itself. Okay, let's talk about the biggest risk, and it's one that plagues the entire gene therapy field. Manufacturing. You'll hear it called CMC. That stands for Chemistry, Manufacturing, and Controls.
In simple terms, it's the massive challenge of going from making a few perfect doses in a lab to producing thousands or tens of thousands of perfect, consistent doses in a factory. It is a huge operational hurdle that can derail even the most promising science.
So, pulling all of this together, what's the core debate for an investor looking at Lexeo today? What does it all boil down to? This slide really frames the entire decision perfectly. The bull case, it hinges on that powerful, de-risked data from LX 2006 and the clear regulatory path forward. The bear case, on the other hand, it's all about those universal operational risks, manufacturing and execution. It's science versus logistics. Okay, let's wrap this up with a clear takeaway on how to think about an investment in Lexeo right now. The investment thesis here is actually pretty straightforward. You are primarily betting on the highly de-risked LX 2006 program. The company has validated its science, and this is critical, it has the cash, with a runway into 2028 to get through its most important data readouts without needing to raise more money. So what's the final take? Well, the data for LX 2006 is compelling enough, in our view, to support a long position. The key thing to watch, the one thing, is the start of that pivotal study in early 2026. Any delay there would be the first real sign of trouble and would start to validate the bear case. But if they hit that milestone, it signals a clear path to market. So the ultimate question for investors is this: is the science powerful enough to overcome the immense operational challenges of bringing a gene therapy to the world?